Michelle Live podcast.
My Michelle Live.
Here at the Washington Sportsman Show, I'm Michelle Mendoza, and we're broadcasting live. I'm going to tell you, you're going to hear a spectacular story. We've seen depression on the rise. We've seen suicide skyrocketing, and particularly among veterans. This is a hard time for everyone, but for those who have put their life on the line, American heroes, there's people who are doing something about it, and I got goosebumps talking to Ryan Caldwell, who is with me today. Two sites I want to get your attention to. Get Your Six and O.F.O.H. Thank you for being so generous with me, Ryan. I'm delighted to have you with me. Now, you give veterans, first responders, an opportunity to get out in the wild, do a little fishing, do a little hunting, and do a little healing.
Yeah, so absolutely. So Got Your Six is our nonprofit with Outdoors for Our Heroes. And Got Your Six means I got your back. So that's the six part of it. It actually started, I'm a combat wounded veteran, and I was injured and I received Purple Heart, and I was pretty down and out, and I got to go on an event, and it changed my life. It turned me around. It brought cohesion, and the outdoors brings health. So it just changed my whole life, and I was like, I could do this. So I started about 8 years ago guiding and taking veterans. We've taken several thousand vets out already. And the hunting division, last year we merged with the hunting division. So we're now able to give hunting and fishing excursions for free.
It's amazing what just a little time in the outdoors does for anyone. The farther you get from the city, the more you get towards God.
Yeah.
And there's that healing there. I want to hear a bit about your story. You were serving in Iraq, as I understand.
Yep.
Was it on patrol?
Yeah. We were on a patrol, and a suicide car bomb blew up next to me. And I went in shock, but I did what I was supposed to do, and it went through, and it just fell apart from there. I'm a multiple combat veteran. I started in 1992. I was in 15 years. I was in Somalia during Black Hawk Down. I was in Mogadishu, which is Mogadishu. I was in Haiti for the invasion, Bosnia, and multiple deployments to include Iraq. And that's where I got injured and medical retired.
Oh. Understanding that anyone who's gone through trauma, it affects you. You live with it.
Yep.
And you have to heal through it. But going through trauma and having that level of stress every day is something that we can't wrap our minds around. I mean, the places that you just described are so far removed from where we're sitting here. I mentioned I'm eating the world's worst taco salad. How do you mess up a taco salad? I don't know, but no offense, I'm sorry. This is a first world problems. We're talking places that the average American can't even comprehend. So here you are, an American man in a country, in a galaxy far, far away, dealing with everyday stress, the potential that your life or one of your brother's lives are in danger, and then dealing with the aftermath. A lot of veterans thank you for your service and a Purple Heart awarded, but many come back even without the physical wounds.
Yep.
There's an emotional component that we have a hard time understanding.
So a lot of it, you become hyper aware of all your surroundings. You're always nervous. You're always looking around. You're protecting yourself at all times. And that takes a toll on you. And it can wear you down and physically make you sick. And with whatever injuries you have, those all compile after time. And then the hyperawareness, when you come back, you still feel like you're there. You know, I can give you an example. Bosnia was a place, there were landmines everywhere, and we couldn't drive on certain dirt roads. And when I came home, I'm an outdoors enthusiast. I love driving on dirt roads. And I had a long time, it took me to realize that there's not going to be landmines in Washington State. So, you know, it's just things of that sort that pick at you. A lot of people don't realize the littlest things, you know, that no RPG is going to come over a fence here in Washington State. So you get over hyper aware.
Do you get over that? Do you ever really get over that?
No.
Does it sometimes just always lurking?
Always lurking, and what you learn is coping skills. You learn and talk to yourself. Like, I would never go to a sportsman show when I first came out. It would be overwhelming. So I've learned, or fireworks or whatever. I've learned. I talk to myself. I'm like, okay, I'm going into a place that this is going to happen, and it's not scary. So I'm not going to be hyper aware, and I'll just relax and enjoy it. And I still have times where I get nervous, or I have people behind me and it makes me nervous.
Some self-care. You need to take care of going out and getting on the water, getting out into nature, breathing fresh air, and living again.
A sense of accomplishment. A lot of people don't have a sense of accomplishment when they come back, especially if they get retired or medically retired. You don't have a sense of accomplishment, and if you don't have that in your life, you're going to fall down a bad rabbit hole. And that's one thing I was lucky to do. I found my way out, and I changed my life. I quit drinking 9 years ago.
Wow.
I changed my medications, and I realized that more medications mean more problems. So I changed everything. And I'm not perfect, but I'm doing better. And when I take people out, I'm not a counselor, but I let nature do its own thing.
So nature is the counselor.
Yeah, and most of the time people come fishing with me, I'm barking at them and yelling at them, because that's what you do on the river. And most of us love that cohesion, and that's another thing that we miss is cohesion, that feeling faithful around other people.
And when you think about Got Your Six, you served with other men who did have your back, and they were there. Men in particular, especially in our society, have a hard time finding brotherhood in the real world. It's you don't just go up to someone and say, hey, I feel like I really need to just sit down and talk with someone. You want to go grab coffee, and they look at you, blink, 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 right? What? So you can find that camaraderie on the river. You can find that camaraderie on the boat. You can find that camaraderie the way men need. Women, we go to the bathroom and we walk out with phone numbers and we're friends and we're connected. Men aren't wired that way. That's okay. You're wired the way you're supposed to be, but you need to get connected the way you're supposed to be. And I think through that physical activity, studies have found that's how men find that. And we are social creatures. We need that.
Yeah, and it's just like the hunting division and our fishing division. You get out, you talk, and you just do what you do. It's the best part of it. And you don't have to talk about the bad things. You can just talk. And just knowing that I was in the Army or you were in the Air Force, and we talk a little crap to each other, and it's okay. That's what we do. That's what we were trained to do, and that's what we do.
I'd love to hear some of the stories of folks where you've really seen just something as beautiful as going out, something as everyday as throwing a line in the water has made a difference, where you've seen and you've heard the aftermath stories.
Well, part of it is I wanted to teach people how to fish. Not just go out and fish, but teach it so they can do it on their own. And I've had many of people come back and say, I have really got into this and I love it, and they've pursued it, either tying flies, building fishing rods, because we teach rod building. And they can use their own fishing rod to go out and fish.
That's cool.
So you talk about an amazing experience. I had this one person that come out, and they caught a fish, and they shook for like 45 minutes. It was driving me crazy. My front of my boat's vibrating, and they're shaking, and they're just chuckling, and I'm just like, can you stop shaking? You're driving me nuts. And they were so happy and so out of this world. Nothing, at the time, there was no problem.
I can imagine that having gone through physical activity, and that's a lot of what the service is when you are in dangerous situations. There's a lot of physical activity, strain on your body, and then to come home and it's just not there. You can find it when you are out in nature. You can find it hunting and fishing, and it's like what you're born to do.
And it also pushes you in a whole different way. So I picked up hunting again, and I haven't hunted in a long time, and that's one thing I was really excited about merging with a hunting organization, Outdoors for Our Heroes, is it actually, if you're a couch potato, it's not healthy. And by going out fishing, by going out hunting and tracking elk and spotting and all that stuff, you're pushing your body in ways that you can push it, and it's healthy. It puts off those endorphins that we all need.
Yeah.
And so that all comes down to it's an amazing thing for our bodies and mind.
And mind, exactly. This is a time where we have, in essence, in America, forgotten or gotten disenfranchised from where our freedoms come from and on whose shoulder the responsibility of freedom has fallen. And this is when I'm even a little emotional right now because I was so excited about what you do. I think that we have forgotten that we have even abused our freedoms. It's like hunting. So as you hunt or you fish and you clean your own fish and you fillet your own fish or dress out your own animal, man, when you eat, you have a new appreciation of where that meat came from, that a life was given so that you can have life.
Yeah.
That is pretty spectacular. When we're removed from that and we just get our little plastic, styrofoam, perfectly wrapped meat, we will never really know what went into it. Same with farming. Well, likewise, I think with our freedoms, we become so far removed from what it takes to maintain our freedom, to stand against the evils that are out there. We forget what we have here. And I think that's why I wanted to have you, especially wanted to have you, because it means so much to me that you're doing this.
I mean, it's kind of funny that you think about it in those ways. It's like if you go out fishing and you're craving fish and you go out and you miss fish all day long, we've joked many a times, thank God we don't have to rely on our fishing to eat, and especially with the way the fishing's been, and the same thing with hunting. I mean, I'm new at it, but I'm pretty good at it, but I didn't get an elk last year, and I chased him for a month and a half.
Wow.
And but again, I appreciated everything that went into it. And when I did get to have some elk, I was like, man, that's amazing. I had to work for it, and it was amazing. And a sense of accomplishment, and the pride of being outside, and the pride of taking a humane kill, and being respectful. It all comes around to a good-minded body and soul.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to do.
It's gratitude.
Yeah.
We can connect with what you do, support what you do, donate, because it's our way of remembering to be grateful. What you've paid and the time that you served, I can never repay that. Every day I live able to speak freely as I do in my job, I do that because of men and women like you. You've paid the price, and I get all the benefits. There's a gospel story in there, right?
Well, it kind of goes both ways. If we don't get support, we're nothing, and we've had amazing support, and that keeps coming, and by donations and by people wanting to take care of other veterans and having a place in their heart where they can do that. But that's why we do first responders too, because we have in our heart what first responders have been through every single day that they have to do it. So, on our program, it's for disabled first responders. So, we want to take care of them too.
Yes, and I appreciate that. Even police have gone through a real hard couple of years. True story. Downtown Seattle, not too far from where the Seahawks play, there was a little group, about 3 police officers last year, and I walked by and I said, hey, thank you for what you do. I appreciate you. A lot of people have quit, but I appreciate you here. And one of them literally cried and said, wow, I'm not used to people coming up and saying that to me. And that's where I'm asking you today to remember that there are those who choose dangerous jobs and go on dangerous missions and do dangerous things and choose to defend our freedoms, to protect us. And this is our way of saying thank you. You can go to My Michelle Live. I'll put all of the links that Ryan gave me on there so that you can learn a little more. If there's a vet that you'd like to get connected with the hunting and fishing excursions, great. If you'd like to donate, great. Anything else you'd like for our audience to know?
Just even the donation part, we'd love to have people be aware about us. We try to spread the word, but we want more people to spread the word so we can help out more people. And we have two divisions. We have the fishing and the hunting.
I thank you for your service, and thank you for continuing to make a difference. You really are a hero in so many ways, and it's been such a blessing to talk with you today.
Yeah. Well,
thank you.
Thank you for having us.
For more fun, go to mymichellelive.com.